Hello, and welcome to the very first full-length episode of the Whole Self Podcast. I'm Annette Marie, and I'm so truly honored and excited to be here with you today. This space is about deep, lasting transformation, not just of the mindset work, but of the healing of your entire being, body, mind, spirit, and soul. So take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's begin this journey together. So on this first episode, I kind of want to tell you how the podcast and the blueprint actually came to be. Not that long ago, I had felt like there was this quiet stirring inside my spirit. There was a nudge that kind of just wouldn't go away. And it wasn't something I planned or even knew how to fully explain. But it did come with clarity, and that was write the Sacred Wealth Blueprint. Now, teaching about money mindset or energetic alignment around finances, this wasn't anything new for me. I've been coaching people for years on releasing trauma, healing their nervous systems, and rebuilding self-worth. But this was really different. This wasn't just about mindset. This was about God. It was about anchoring money and manifestation in spiritual truth. And to be honest, it scared the heck out of me. Not because I didn't believe in God, because I always have, but because I'd kept that faith quiet, safe, and private. I didn't ever want to offend anyone, alienate them, or just be too much. But something in me knew and was being told if I was going to write about abundance, I had to write it through the lens of divine provision. And so I willingly stepped into this assignment and I started writing. And almost instantly, everything around me began to unravel. First, our washer and dryer broke. Then, the main water valves to our house, they rusted out, had to be replaced. A few days later, the pool pipe started leaking. Then, the pool cleaner completely died. So I paused my writing because now we're talking about multiple unexpected financial hits, and it triggered every old belief I'd carried since childhood about money being hard, unsafe, and of course, scarce. And then the unthinkable happened. My beloved horse, my soul companion, went into acute kidney failure, and he passed, and it completely wrecked me. And it still wasn't over. 4 days later, we discovered a leak under our home's slab foundation. And on the morning the foundation team arrived to repair it, I walked into our kitchen and found the refrigerator had stopped working and all the food was spoiling. I immediately kind of slid to the floor and I just began sobbing. Actually, more the truth, I broke. I absolutely broke. And like a child in the middle of a grocery store wanting their favorite candy bar at the checkout lane, I cried out and I started screaming, "What did I do to deserve this? Why are you punishing me? How much more of this do you expect for me to take?" And as I sat there trying to regulate myself, trying to calm, the tears dried, I got quiet, still and empty, and I took another deep breath and decided to ask a better question. God, what am I missing? And in that stillness, I heard one word. The whisper of one 4-letter word, flow. And at first, I honestly didn't get it. But then I realized almost everything that had broken involved water, flow, the pipes, plumbing, drainage, movement, and even the tears. I was sitting there on my kitchen floor crying. And I remembered what I had heard when I first started writing. How can you write about me if you do not know me? And this time it landed differently. And I realized it didn't mean what I first thought it meant. Then the verse, Isaiah 43:2, kind of dropped into my heart. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. I'd been fighting the current, trying to build something out of my own strength, forcing productivity, white-knuckling trust, clinging to old patterns rooted in trauma, control, and the belief that it was me, I who had to fix everything and do everything. But this workbook actually wasn't mine. It was his. It was never meant to be pushed through with hustle. It was meant to flow through me with grace. And then the realization. For most of my life, I associated money with fear, lack, stress, and survival. It wasn't just about bank balances. It was nervous system deep, generational deep, inherited beliefs, shame, scarcity, and self-worth entanglement. And in all the breaking, I was being asked to unlearn it all, to stop swimming upstream, to stop clinging, to surrender. God was saying to me, your provision is not in your control. Your provision is in me. Lay it down and let me lead. He wasn't absent through all this chaos. He was present in the water. He was calling me back to alignment, back to flow, back to trust. And this workbook, the Sacred Wealth Blueprint, was never just about helping others. It was asking me to live what I was teaching, to release what I had that once protected me, and to let faith replace force. And so a little soul check-in for you. I want to ask you now, where in your life have you been swimming against the current? Is it your finances, your relationships, a career path you're gripping onto with both hands? Where are you being invited to release the fight, not as punishment, but for preparation for divine provision? Where have you been striving in survival instead of receiving from surrender? I'm going to share 5 practical ways with you to help you reconnect to flow. 1, start practicing surrender. Pause the urge to fix. Notice when you're pushing too hard and ask yourself, am I trying to force what God wants to give in grace? Engage yourself in spiritual reflection. Journal about where you're resisting. Ask, what am I clinging to that God is asking me to release? And then spend quiet time listening, not speaking, but listening. Start to reframe the hard stuff. See your challenges as invitations, not punishment. Every breakdown actually might be the initiation to a breakthrough. Trust that what feels like a loss could be a divine redirection. 4, start aligning your nervous system. Learn how to feel safe in your body again. Use tools like breath work and tapping and sonomic practices. Remember, alignment isn't a mindset, it is a state of being. And last, stay open to ongoing transformation. Be willing to pivot when you're being called higher. Let your spiritual journey evolve. Stay humble, curious, and available to the grace. I'm going to offer a final invitation to you. If something in this episode spoke to your soul and you're ready to move from survival into sacred alignment, I invite you to explore the Sacred Wealth Blueprint. It's a 6-part journey designed to recalibrate your nervous system, reconnect your spirit to divine truth, and help you receive the provision that's always been your birthright. This isn't a workbook, it's a spiritual reawakening, and it was written for such a time as this. So I want to thank you for being here on this very first episode. I know this is a journey that we've just begun together, and I hope you much love and flow over this weekend. Be blessed.